Welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm KJ, by the way, and today we are back with another reaction video, so sit back, grab a snack, and let's go. Alright, y'all, in light of this being back to school season, we're reacting to the top 10 teachers who got fired. I mean, some teachers are pretty crummy, so this online stuff might be a good thing.
Hey everyone, this is Shrinker here, and in today's video, we're going to be going through the top 10 teachers who got fired.
She caught the Spanish teacher in action.
She's now facing criminal charges.
And in the number 10 spot, we've got a chemistry teacher who was doing an experiment in class, and unfortunately it went completely wrong. There was a bit of an explosion, and some students got hurt, including one girl who had to be sent to the hospital. Not surprisingly, the chemistry teacher was in a lot of trouble.
Please pray for our beautiful daughter, Amy Green. She was in chemistry today, and the teacher was doing an experiment. It went badly and exploded. The explosion went right onto Amy and caught her hair, face, chest, and arm on fire. She also has burns on both hands. The mom also said that her daughter was admitted to the burn ICU this afternoon for fluid resuscitation, pain control, and wound care. The incident has shocked parents.
Over to tonight, we've got a love triangle at middle school with multiple different teachers. There's two women that were fighting over this one dude. Apparently, one of the teachers is pregnant with this dude's child, and she's going to be having the baby soon, but she figured out that another teacher at this middle school sent a love letter to her baby daddy's Facebook.
I'm sending him a 4-page letter,
saying that she had feelings for him and expressing all that kind of stuff. Needless to say, when both those female teachers met in school the next day, they got into a fight and got arrested in front of all these students.
According to this police report, 32-year-old Shaka Cobb said she and a man who teaches at the school are expecting a child. Cobb states that she discovered a love letter from 25-year-old Ebony Smith on her baby's father's Facebook account over the weekend. Cobb angrily responded back on Facebook, and when the two returned to school on Monday, a fight broke out in the 8th grade hall. There was cursing, punches were thrown, and threats to put the love letter on a blackboard for all to see. Children witnessed it all.
I didn't we've got another middle.
Wow, this is one of those instances where even the adults don't act much better than the kids. That sounds like some stuff the kids would take to school and get into this huge fight over and whatnot. Wow.
Middle school teacher, and she had actually stolen two different teachers' driver's license at this school. Apparently one of the teachers had potentially seen her do it, and nothing really came of it, unfortunately. But over the next couple months, she used those stolen driver's licenses as an ID when she was doing fraudulent returns at different stores. Not sure the situation behind that, if she was stealing things and then trying to return it or what, but all I know is that what she was doing was very illegal, and she ended up being caught.
45-year-old Janine Vitorino was arrested over the weekend. Here was what investigators say happened. Two teachers claim Vitorino stole their driver's licenses from their wallets. One teacher says she caught the Spanish teacher in action when she walked back into her classroom. She would return items to TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods using the stolen licenses as an ID.
In number 7 spot, we've got a teacher that had just been hired to this new school. She was only 7 days in on the job, and I guess she hated her. She showed up to school one day completely sloshed. I mean, she was about as drunk as you could possibly get. She was acting belligerent, all that kind of stuff. And when the school officer came up and started talking to her, she was screaming, all that kind of stuff in front of the kids. It was just a bad situation. And at one point, this woman actually tried to get in her car while she was sloshed like this and leave. The officer had to stop her, and this woman ended up being arrested. Not surprisingly, was fired.
This Pinellas County teacher is not only fired, she's now facing criminal charges after just 7 days on the job.
When you make that decision in the line of work that you are in, yeah, that's an automatic, fired, not hire.
ABC Action News was the first to report on Lisa Edelstein's arrest. According to arrest records, Edelstein was loud and belligerent in front of the children.
Bloodshot, watery eyes.
You know what this has me wondering, though? If we're going to have some intoxicated teachers on Zoom meetings, like, I just wonder if it happened and she tried to show up to work like that. What can we expect from these teachers on Zoom meetings? They're at home, like comfortable, Some people have a whole section dedicated to their drinks. I have to wonder.
Slurring of the words. There was some rocking back and forth.
Moving to 6, this one's kind of like the last one. It involves another teacher who was sloshed, except it takes it to a whole new level because the person who was sloshed was actually a driver's ed teacher. So their job is to literally teach students how to drive. So it's kind of a messed up job.
How to drive and to not be intoxicated while driving. But yet the instructor themselves. That's ironic right there.
To get sloshed when you show up to, but this dude was 3 times over the legal limit, driving around, all that kind of stuff. He actually picked up a student to start teaching him, and by the time that he was arrested, it hit a gate, a couple different things. He didn't even remember having a student in the car.
Surveillance video shows a driving instructor backing up into a gate that then hits the Germantown High School principal. According to police, his blood alcohol level 3 times over the legal limit.
It's so busy at the time that school lets out. You have school buses that are going by, students that don't have a lot of experience driving in that parking lot as well. And here you have an adult who's impaired.
In the back seat of the car while this is all happening, a student that Corey Malone picked up for his driving lesson. Malone later told police he didn't remember having a student in his car.
Head number 5, you had a middle school teacher who had a really bad night. He made some bad decisions. He went to the bar and got into a fight with 2 guys outside of the bar. It was broken up, at least at the start, and then eventually later in the night, things got heated again, where the guys were throwing bottles at his car. He had a black and blue eye. And then, long story short, to end the night off, he actually got mad enough that he ran the 2 of them over. He made another big mistake of leaving his wallet at the bar or on the ground outside of the bar. I can't remember, but he left his wallet there with his ID, all that kind of stuff, and he ended up being caught, was arrested, and was fired.
Collier County deputies rushed to the back parking lot of Rusty's Raw Bar and Grill. They found 2 men with serious injuries after being hit by a car.
And this really makes you wonder what the teachers are doing after school. Like, where do they go? What do they do? Some of y'all kids, though, are so bad, y'all leading them to drink. Come on now.
I don't know what happened. Everybody started screaming. They said they ran over 2 people in the back. I don't know if he was trying to get away or what.
The driver was nowhere in sight, but witnesses say they saw a fight break out just before the crash. Security broke it up, but it didn't end. The Collier County Sheriff's Office says 35-year-old Christopher Lee threw bottles at the victim's car. When they got out of their car, Lee hit the gas pedal and ran them over.
Number 4 spot, if you had a math teacher at a middle school. I don't know what it is about middle school teachers, but I guess they get into a lot of sticky situations. But this guy, he basically broke into a woman's home to steal her clothing. He would just steal different things. It turns out occasionally he would also return some of the items that he stole, but one day she found him in the morning inside of her house, called the police, and that was that.
Then Conway is charged with 11 counts of burglary and 9 counts of petty larceny. Police say a woman found Conway in her home yesterday morning. They later determined he'd broken in several times to steal her clothing and would, on some occasions, return them. That's all according to police. Conway is a math teacher at Lincoln Middle School and coaches cross country. He's been placed on administrative leave pending the investigation.
Moving to 3, this is wild. I mean, the balls you have to have in order to do something like this. This involves a substitute teacher at this high school, and this guy, he went into this classroom, started talking about the devil's lettuce and other unchristian-like things, but then get this, he decided, I guess it was a good idea to actually smoke some of that devil's lettuce right there in the classroom in front of the kids.
That's the shit, ain't it?
The worst part about it is some snitch kid went and told the principal or some other teacher about it, and the dude ended up getting arrested. arrested. I mean, you can't have anything nowadays.
District says a substitute teacher was using marijuana in a classroom after leading conversations in class about smoking the drug.
Students reported to us that they observed a substitute teacher doing what appeared to be using marijuana in the presence of students in a classroom.
The school took swift action, firing the sub, who North Attleboro High School students say was well liked.
I thought he was really nice. Like, he was like easy to talk to and stuff, and he was a nice guy.
This one's pretty scary. Earlier on this list, we actually had another classroom experiment gone wrong. This is one of those also, except gone way more wrong, because this involves not only the chemistry teacher in this school, but also 17 different students were hurt. And on top of all of that, the entire school had to be evacuated from the building. They had to all leave, and it was just a very, very scary situation, not only for the students, parents, but everybody involved, quite frankly.
Investigators tonight north of Nashville are trying to reassure parents that this was an accident and nothing more.
To report a fire, they've got a couple students that are going to be transported.
The fumes were so great, the whole school, seen here, had to leave the building, and parents had to come get their kids.
And finally, one starting to do off with a girl teacher who got caught doing something that she was definitely not supposed to be doing. She went on a school trip with a male student, and let's just say that they ended up doing the dirty, some very unchristian-like things, and she ended up getting caught. It went out, and she was arrested and is now facing some prison time because of it.
They don't go and do things about it. They don't go and do things about it, particularly with children, with teenagers, with whom it's illegal.
And that's why she says the allegations against 28-year-old Haley Way should be taken seriously. The former Westlake math teacher, Travis County sheriffs say, had with a male student more than 10 times, and according to court documents, Way texted with another student about a hike the two would take that would result in contact.
That's crazy, but honestly, that last incident isn't really the first I've heard of that at all. That ain't nothing new.
Right.
But these other ones, these teachers, it has me looking at teachers in a whole nother way. It's like, what do they do after school?
They like their extracurricular activities too.
They do, they do. I just have to wonder if we're gonna be seeing strung out teachers on Zoom meetings now. Like, man, which teacher was the most surprising to you guys? I'm not even sure that I can pick one. Yeah, like and subscribe. We'd love that. And we'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.